Hello, Crusader fans. Welcome to another edition of the Valpo Coaches Show. Joining me today, Crusader Volleyball head coach Carin Avery for the first time. Carin, good to have you along.
It's good to be here.
In mid-October now, we're pretty deep into your season, a non-league season which had some ups and downs in there. You had the tournament win at Indiana, came out of it around the 500 mark. I think one thing that would be interesting to let fans know, is something maybe the casual fan doesn't know too much about, is the fact you had to replace your starting setter this year and chose to go to a 6-2 formation. So for the fans, can you just kind of talk about the 6-2, what it entails, and what kind of challenges it presents to your team?
Yeah, that's a great question, because in the 11 years I've been at Valparaiso, I've never run a 6-2 ever. So it's been kind of a unique concept for us this year. And we had a great spring season. We had all of our attackers back from last year, and we knew we were really deep in the attacking category this year. So when we started looking at lineups in the fall, when everybody got on campus, we decided that there was no way we could leave out, 1 to 2 more attackers. So that's really why we decided to go with the 6-2. And it allows us to have more attackers in the front row. We always have 3 attackers in the front row at all time. When you run a 5-1, you go through 3 rotations where you only have 2 attackers in the front row. And so for us, like I said, we're so deep in the attacking category, we decided that it would be to our benefit to have that extra attacker. Also, the other reason we ran it, we have a freshman setter coming in this year, and while she's very good, she's a freshman. We also had Ariel Cudney, who we recruited as actually a defensive player for us, who ran our offense this spring, and she did a really nice job. So they're both on the smaller side. They're both very good defensively, and so we thought, in order for us to be as successful as we could, we thought we would run a 6-2. And it's really hard to run a 6-2 because you have 2 different setters, 2 different types of setters who run a totally different offense, and it's not easy for an attacker when you go from setter to setter. So I give a lot of credit, number one, to our setters. I think they're doing wonderful. We knew that the preseason would be kind of a break-in for them in order to get used to their attackers. In preseason we had to figure out who hit better off of who. This preseason, again, some of I think our ups and downs were that we were trying to figure out who was going to play with who and next to who. And I think we figured that out at the end of the year, and I think that's why we were so successful at the Indiana tournament, because we actually kind of figured it out and all the pieces of the puzzle came together. So I give a lot of credit to not only our 2 setters, Kelsey and Ariel, but to our attackers, because they're doing a great job adjusting to our 2 different types of setters.
We mentioned the ups and downs, and obviously last weekend was probably one of the highest ups of the year. Tough Wisconsin road trip, always difficult to make the drive up to Green Bay, then come back down and play at Milwaukee, who's been kind of the standard bearer for the league for so long. You come out of the road trip 2-0, you go up to Green Bay, sweep them in 3 sets, and then Milwaukee, win the first 2, lose the second 2, and then a tight 5th set. You come out with the win. Our first regular season win at Milwaukee since joining the Horizon League. And how were you and the team able to come out with those 2 victories on such a tough road trip?
After our Youngstown State match here last weekend, when we went and we had that incredible second set win for us here, it gave us a lot of momentum. And then in the 3rd and 4th game against Youngstown, honestly, we played some of our best volleyball we've played in a long time. And we kind of had a really long discussion why it's taken us so long to find our groove and find our energy. And so we had a really specific goal, is that we were going to try to find some good energy right away, be ready to play right away instead of waiting until the 3rd or 4th set. Volleyball's funny like that. I don't know why we had such a successful weekend. I can say we had a very, very good week of practice leading up to this weekend. I think last year, knowing that we lost twice to Green Bay really stuck with us, and we did not want to do that again this year. So we had a lot of little reasons, I think, why we played well at Milwaukee or at Green Bay. And then going into Milwaukee, we hadn't beaten them in a couple years in the regular season. We had, like you mentioned, we had never beaten them at home. We made that kind of a mini goal of ours, that we wanted to get that first win on the regular season in Milwaukee. And so it was a very, very exciting match if you were there. Both teams played really well and both teams kind of struggled. It was a classic UW-Milwaukee Valpo matchup, and we're fortunate to come up on top. But I think it was a great goal. I think Mary and Taylor we have a lot of mini goals during our season. Obviously our ultimate goal is always to go to the NCAA tournament and win the Horizon League championship and the Horizon League regular season, but only one team can do that, and so you don't want to feel like your season was a failure if you don't achieve those goals. So we always make little mini goals, and one of our mini goals was obviously to have a big win for us, and we were fortunate enough to play Iowa and Indiana, and we really wanted to get our first Big Ten victory in program history, and we were able to do that a few weeks ago, and that was really exciting. And then another goal of ours was, like I said, we've never ever beaten Milwaukee in the regular season at their place, and so it's, even though we maybe have had our ups and downs this year, I think that achieving two big mini goals that we had, I think that's really amazing.
You mentioned Taylor, one of the two seniors on the team, along with Mary, and they got that first win at Milwaukee. Taylor also had a nice weekend individually, won the Horizon League Defensive Player of the Week, and after breaking the Valpo career digs record a couple weeks back, moved into the top 10 in NCAA history in the category last week, on pace to finish around the 5th place all time in NCAA history. And can you just talk for a minute about what she has meant to the program, being able to write her into the lineup day in, day out, and know she's going to be that stalwart in the back row for you?
Yeah, she has had an amazing career for us. We have been very lucky that we have had, since the libero has come into place, she's been our third fabulous libero. And when we were recruiting Taylor, there was just something about her. She was always a winner. She came from a winning high school team. She came from a winning club team. When you go to her practices, her team was always a team that would win. And that's kind of the little intangibles that we like to find in our liberos. So we knew we were getting a winner. You never know. Volleyball is a funny thing. To get all those defensive awards, you have to make people hit at your libero, and so it can be a little tricky. Digs per game is out of her control, really, a little bit, because if an attacker decides not to hit anywhere near her, she could go through the match without any digs. So fortunately for us, we kind of our defense is kind of run around Taylor, and she has just done an amazing job. And I think what's great about Taylor is, she is not only a great player, but she's such a great person. The girls really love her. She deserves every award she's ever gotten. And, I'm just so happy for her that she chose to come to Valparaiso University. She's had a fabulous career, and, we're looking forward to going into the tournament with her leading our team this year.
Someone else who's had a lot of success recently for you and was actually just named the Offensive Player of the Week this week, junior middle Ellen Vandenberg. Ellen, her last 5 matches, averaging over 4 kills per set, averaging over a block per set, hitting over 400. Can you talk about what it means to have someone like that step up, and someone versatile? She's the first player in 5 years in the Horizon League to win both an Offensive and Defensive Player of the Week award in the same season. So can you talk, how she stepped up and how having that presence in the middles made the rest of the team better during this run?
When we recruited Ellen, and I told her this, and I bet she'll remember, when she was a freshman, I said, you are going to be something. You are going to be good. I just know it. And I think part of Ellen's problem early on is that I don't know if she knew how good she was. And I think it took a lot of us talking to her, a lot of her players talking to her, to give her that encouragement that she could be our best player. And, she's really come through for us this season. But again, she had a fabulous spring. Last year she had a good year. It was her first year kind of playing, so she was getting used to things. And I just knew this year would be a breakout year for her. And she deserves everything she gets. She works very hard, as does everybody on our team. But, it's, against Milwaukee, she was, and Green Bay, she was unstoppable. And, they tried different things. They tried to take away different things from her, and she just kept going at it, and we just kept getting her the ball. And she's had an amazing season, and we're really excited about her progress. And, I'm just excited that we even have her for another year.
Halfway through the Horizon League season, 5-2 record, tied for 2nd place. And perhaps the best part of that is you have 5 of your last 7 league games at home. That starts out this weekend with a tough weekend. A couple squads picked to finish low in the standings, up near the top. UIC and Loyola both 5-2 as well. You went to Chicago earlier this year. You lost to UIC in 4 sets, bounced back the next day to beat Loyola in 4 sets. What do you have to do differently this time around against UIC to come out with the win? And then on the same hand, what do you have to do against Loyola that you did the first time to come out ahead?
Yeah, this is a big weekend, obviously, for the 3 of us, all in 2nd place. And then, they turn around and play Wright State, who hasn't won a conference game. So you figure they're going to get, a win, probably, more than likely, on the weekend versus Wright State. So, again, being at home, we've really got to, take control of a lot of things to beat both of them. I think for UIC, I'm not surprised they're having a great year. They have 5 seniors who have played since they've been freshmen, and they've really kind of figured it out this season. They're playing amazing volleyball, especially their 3 seniors are really leading them. We have got to serve tough. And we've got to try to take them out of system, because when they're in system, honestly, they're the best team in the conference. I think even better than Cleveland State. So we're really going to have to serve tough. Our attacking game is going to have to be better. We really probably played our worst match of the whole year against UIC and still took them to 4 and almost beat them 26-24. And we really struggled. So hopefully we'll be a little more ready to play. Hopefully our serve and pass game will be a little better than it was last time. And against Loyola, they have a very, very good transfer senior who's playing outstanding, and we did a really good job on her the first time defensively. And again, you've got to figure out a way to stop her, and if you can kind of stop her a little bit, you have a really good chance of winning. So that's going to be our goal this weekend.
Well, thank you for joining me here today, Carin. Look forward to this weekend of volleyball right here at the Arc. You've got Loyola here Friday night, 7 p.m., UIC here Saturday night at 7 p.m. If you can't make it out to the Arc, both games will be video streamed live on the Horizon League Network. Links for those streams will be available at valpoathletics.com. And you can also follow the Valpo volleyball team on social media. On Twitter, follow at VU_VB. And on Facebook, like Valparaiso University Volleyball Team. Until next time, for Carin Avery, I'm Aaron Leavitt. Go Crusaders.